Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Right after I got done recording, we had TLRY with news. It's up 10%. The rest of the market, or the rest of the sector, is up minimally. Tron's up, 0.5%. Everybody responded very timidly, aside from TLRY. But the news is a partnership to research non-alcoholic beverages, and it is with the Labatt Brewing Company, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch. Here we go. Tilray and Budweiser Maker will partner to research weed drinks. Tilray stock jumps. So both companies committed to $50 million for the research. So that's going on after hours. Very interesting timing to release it, but TLRY obviously responding very well, and everybody else responding. Compared to the day we had, it's almost a who cares response for everybody else, but it is notable for TLRY. We'll see what tomorrow brings during regular trading when there's real volume behind it. Howdy, Canadian MJ friends. Hope you're doing all right. Got a new hat here from the meetup with the Chart Guys, the Secret Santa game. But it doesn't mean anything, so chill out. Nice hat, though. So we're going to look at CGC, CRON, APHA, ACB, TLRY. Our narrative is the same. The market is extremely weak. We dumped in reaction to the FOMC. Continue watching the SPY videos, and I'll continue giving the broader market perspective in those videos. But it's extremely weak. We are in a bearish market as far as I'm concerned. We ended up breaking many support levels. We had an all-out dump day today, a weak bounce at the end of the day, and essentially the head and shoulders pattern on the monthly time frame played out. We broke the October lows, we broke the February lows, and we have limited support, which I'll show you on the monthly time frame in the SPY video. So bottom line is, when the market is this weak and the market is fleeing from proven stocks that are decades old with huge earnings and revenues, they're not going into speculative markets. And we're seeing that with news reactions getting no follow-through. Farm Bill, nothing really happening. I know it hasn't been signed yet, but in my opinion, that's not going to do anything. TLRY news erased one day later. Prawn news, consolidation ever since that day. So the bottom line is news is not going to save the Canadian MJ sector. Unless we get, US MJ legalized out of nowhere. That's the only kind of catalyst, in my opinion, short-term, that is going to completely shift sector sentiment. If you want to completely shift sector sentiment, you have to shift the market sentiments as well. And again, that's not going to happen anytime soon. When SPY bounces, it's going to be an oversold bounce looking for a weekly lower high. And it's going to require daily and weekly trend changes in the market for money to stop being scared. Everybody's fearful right now, and the talking heads are only going to stoke those fires with talk of recession, and the drama sells. It's going to get clicks. And if, like I said just a second ago live, if people know that you're in the market, you're going to start getting questions, because average Joe and Jane start hearing about it. They start seeing it in their long-term portfolios taking big time hits, and we're going to see fear. And that is not the kind of market where bulls are buying. So it can get worse, absolutely, but we have to have game plans established. And at this point, hopefully everybody that's ever watched any of my videos has a long-term game plan established, has clear levels where they're going to exit positions, and, is protective to a certain degree, rather than just holding and hoping that, everything works out fine. So looking at the weekly support, actually the next level I'm looking at with a clear bear break on CGC, we set a lower high at 33.65, and we broke support of 28.10. So our next clear support level, not a clear bear break, we closed at 28.10. So we closed right on that level. We did break below it temporarily, but the next level, there's a gap down at 26.37. That's the next target that we're looking to as a potential support. Any bounce on the daily time frame that's under 33.65 is just a lower high, and of course there's no sign of a bounce at this point. Correlation in the short term with SPY has been fading. So we're not seeing the tick for tick 5-minute action. We had strength, a lot of strength in the market this morning, and the Canadian MJ sector did not participate at all. Then we had the all-out dump, and that hurt the Canadian MJ sector, but not significantly. So there's still correlations there, but in terms of the, tick for tick 5-minute action, not as significant. Prawn had a beautiful bull break to start the day. It was ready to go. The market was weak. The sector was weak. We got no follow through. This is a potential bear flag at this point. If we see a bear break of $11 and 1092 on the US side of things, we're looking at the gap fill of 1057. And again, ever since the day the news came out, we have not seen one bullish day. I guess you could call yesterday a bullish day. It was still just an inside bar, but we haven't seen bullish action since that initial reaction. And again, it's the overlying tones of the market that are causing that. So 1092 and 1057 are two levels of support. Resistance is now 1081. Week close down at the low of the day with the market weakness. APHA coming down towards key support. We just set a lower high. So it's just a tightening range. Lower high at 659, lower high at 629, lower high at 617. And the most important support is 485. If we break 485, it's just the low of the reaction that we have left. And that is a significant short-term support to be watching because of the lack of support below that level. So you better believe that some bears are going to be entering if that support level does break of 485. So tightening range to be watching on APHA with a clear support nearby. ACB support is 715. And we were right at that level, just broke it by a couple pennies at the end of the day, closed weak. And again, there's no support below these levels. We're now looking down at 7 psychological and then 626 as the next level after that. So a lack of support. But as far as, compared to the lowest price we've seen, there's still a lot of space to work with. And you compare that to CGC, and we hit the lowest price today. So if we're comparing individual names to CGC, both APHA, ACB, and Cron have a lot more support levels from recent action in the last, month or two comparative to CGC, which doesn't have that support nearby. TLRY, again, gave back that move. Just one day, a bullish reaction, and it's like it never happened almost. So a daily bear flag is setting up. If we see a bear break of this support, 69.25 and 69 even, break those levels, and the odds of breaking that 64.06 level will increase significantly. So it's a daily bear flag at this point. Bulls need to turn things around. If we do, we're just going to bounce and look for an hourly lower high compared to 82.39. And if you look at the short-term timeframes, and again, does the SPY reaction come into play? 2 o'clock p.m. was the FOMC, and that's when SPY dumped. And obviously Cron, that marked the top for Cron. TLRY, 2 p.m. How did we react? All out dump right into it. And so obviously the SPY factor is still there. But like I said, it shifts constantly. And at this point, bulls are holding up a little bit better in the market, in the Canadian MJ sector than in the market as a whole. But it's all interrelated. And again, just to drive this point home, in my opinion, the most important aspect of what's going on in the market is the psychology now, because it has completely shifted. And it's the same thing with crypto. If the overall market is extremely weak and people are wondering, where am I going to put my money that's a safe haven, and it's not in the major names, it's not going to be speculative cryptocurrency. At least it hasn't been to this point, and it's not going to be speculative MJ. But one thing that I will say, which I said in my intro to USMJ video, is that if you have cash, you are going to get a massive opportunity to not only, make long-term investments in the market once this bear market comes to an end, but Canadian MJ, we're seeing levels that many people thought we would never, ever see again. And it's because the market is so weak that it's giving people with cash an opportunity. So if you are of the younger generation, let's say, 50 or younger, and you have 10 years where you can be patient for things, we're looking at some of these names going to give us some really nice long-term entries, but there's no indication of that at this point. And for this sector, I wouldn't just be, blindly averaging down. I would want to see some shifts in momentum, but who knows? There's nothing saying that if the S&P 500 drops another 10% over the next 3 months from where we stand right now, there's nothing saying that CGC can't drop another 15% or more as well and get down to, again, levels that people thought we would never see again. So, all getting very interesting. My trading strategy, I've been focusing on commodities recently, and I'll probably stay there as oil and natural gas have had tons of volatility. And I'm not interested in the Canadian MJ bulls until they start to prove something, because the market, this was the nail in the coffin pretty much for me, losing interest as a bull short term in this sector. And it's just because bull moves are going to have way less follow through, way less movement when fighting against the clear trend. So I'm going to be taking a back seat for actively trading Canadian MJ for a while at this point. Well, anticipate it being a while, but I'm going to check every day. I'm going to be watching it every day. And when we see those shifts happening, we'll definitely be paying attention to them. But just from a broader perspective, the last thing I'm going to be doing is over trading in a sector that is not giving us a lot of clarity or a lot of volatility. This is just a slow bleed market over the last month or so, and there's more opportunity elsewhere for me as a day trader. So I appreciate you watching. Again, game plans hopefully already established at this point, but now if you have cash, now is the time to establish a game plan about longer term entries and whether you're going to look to scale in or, you know, what levels you're looking for. So comfortable in cash and potentially looking to put that to work sometime in 2019. Hope you're well. Do good things. We'll see you tomorrow.